Melissa, what are you laughing about?
TJ.
I got to go back to gallery.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Seventh Rule. This is the Roundtable. That was Melissa Longo giggling at Changeling TJ going, almost like the Skeksis on the Dark Crystal. So we are here with, of course, Melissa Longo, Homer Frizzell, Dr. Sue V. Gruner, Katie Carr, Eve England out in Wales, who may have to go because it's like really late her time, by the way. So if you do, whenever you do, just tell us goodbye and you can run off, obviously. We have Sabrina Wood with her awesome Sci-Fi Sisters thing behind her. We have Jesse Taggart, Mr. Jared Cooper, who was with us from the very beginning. We're going to talk with him because he is one of the founders of the Seventh Rule, and we owe him a ton. The naughty guy, TJ Jackson Bay, as we know, we already were watching him. Tim Baum and our superstar, Mr. Cirroc Lofton, and some people are wearing the shirts of our other superstar, Mr. Aaron Eisenberg, like Homer's shirt right there. Ta-da! Oh.
Ta-da!
And Melissa's got the OG thing behind her as well. So anyway, first, before we get into anything, Jared, you're with us from the very beginning. You kind of showed us the ropes. You were with Aaron back in the Alpha Quadrant days, right? And then
way back then with Edie and Garrett, yes.
So how did it come about? Did Aaron first approach you, or were you like, dude, you got to start a new podcast?
Well, we had been in the Alpha Quadrant, and the Alpha Quadrant got to a point where it was no more. And then Aaron was approached by Russ Haslage from Odyssey, who said, hey, you had been doing this podcast. It was great. Come do something similar with us over at Odyssey. Aaron called me and said, hey, do you want to keep doing it? I was like, sure, great. Thus began a 2-month-ish long hunt for who his co-host was going to be. And when I say hunt, it was really me and Malissa and everyone on the planet telling Aaron that it was going to be Cirroc, and us finally getting Aaron to agree that it was going to be Cirroc. And
getting Cirroc to agree it was going to be Cirroc.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first day of recording, by the way? This is, everybody, we buried the lead. This is the 2-year anniversary of our very first recording. There was myself, Jared, Cirroc, Aaron, and Mr. Russ Haslage. And our first day of going public was actually the next day, January 15th. But this was our first recording. Do you remember that very first day? Were you thinking like, God, these guys are terrible. How am I gonna have to put lipstick on a pig? Or were you like, this is fun?
Well, I knew it was going to be fun from the first production meeting, which was even like a week before that.
Right.
And Facebook reminded me the other day that we had our first production meeting. And yeah, I knew the minute that Cirroc and Aaron started talking to each other that it was going to be a hit. Yep.
Cirroc, do you remember the first day of recording, or is it all kind of a blur like Deep Space Nine was already?
It's still kind of a blur.
Last week was a blur, though, huh?
It's all one big blur. My whole life, but no, I do remember starting out with the guys and Jared. I think originally we were talking about you being like the voice of the computer, like the guy who knew everything, right?
I was the one that had at that point. I would have been the person who had actually seen the show and knew what was going on.
You were the Star Trek fan.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, I was excited about the whole. I had no idea what we were getting into, what it was going to be like. I just trusted that Aaron was going to kind of take the lead and make it easy, which he did. And I also remember part of the pitch was how little bit of time it would take. Like, don't worry, just like 10 minutes out of your day, like once a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey guys, sorry I got to interrupt real quick because we do have a special guest jumping in and joining us. Who wouldn't miss it for the world? Hello, Mr. ARMIN SHIMERMAN. How are you? His audio is connected. His audio is connected. Hey, ARMIN, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing just fine, thanks. Thanks so much for joining us. We're just reminiscing because it's our 2-year anniversary, and Cirroc and Jared, who have been with us from the very beginning, we're just kind of talking about the first few days. Hang on a second. ARMIN, look at this.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. How far have you gotten?
Oh, first we want to show off
thank you.
this book.
I haven't actually been able to read yet because of college and so much stuff going on in life. But it is definitely high on the list for me to get started.
Thank you. I'm very flattered that you have it. Thank you.
I have it too.
Oh, wait, look at everybody's got this thing. Hang on, hold that, Tim.
I haven't read it because my brother has it. My brother has it, so I haven't read it yet until he gives it back to me. But
Well, I
could
hope
buy
you
another one.
and your brother and everybody else likes it. Please send me a review.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And since we are now
Absolutely.
recording,
Thank you for
everybody at
joining
home,
us.
check the description box below. We will include the link of ARMIN's book, and you should buy it too, but not just buy it, but give it a review because that makes it more visible. That convinces other people to watch it that aren't just supporters of ARMIN and fans of Shakespeare, but people that are looking for a good book. If it has high reviews, they're going to buy it.
Ryan, thank you for that. And I remind you, you don't watch a book, you read a book.
Did I say watch them? I watch them and they don't do anything, but it's still kind of cool.
I've been doing it the whole time, no wonder.
Thanks to my lovely wife, I now have a recliner that has heat and massage so I can sit and read a book
Great.
in comfort. So,
And Tim, when you showed the book, you had a little action figure with it. What's that? Did that come included or?
no,
With it.
no, that
That's
is
his noggin.
the noggin from Malissa.
Yeah, hold it up a second. There it is.
Great.
So it stays on my desk. It looks at me every day while I'm studying. I'm working on my master's degree, so it's sitting there right by my big monitor every day.
Oh my God, everybody's got everything. You guys are like the coolest fans ever. Look at this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that.
TJ's got one too. Wait a minute.
Captain Nog forever.
Yes.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And everybody that's watching at home, that is from Melissa's shop, Walking Art, made by Melissa.com. We also include that in the description box below. She makes all kinds of really cool things, noggins. They're all called Trekkins, right? So you have Jadsons and Kirins and all that stuff. And Armins.
Mark
Wait, no. Quarkins.
I like ARMIN's. That's good.
So anyway, we were just talking about the first couple days. If Cirroc, you and Jared want to finish off about your experiences on the first day.
Yeah, we were just figuring things out, and having somebody like Jared there who actually watched the shows and knows what we should be talking about was great, and obviously Aaron's energy, that's one thing that just irreplaceable. That he has this just relentless enthusiasm for life, and he was just so excited to share his points of view and have these discussions. He's such a knowledgeable person and such strong opinions on things, especially when he thought it concerned, things that he believed to be righteous, right? So he was just adamant about expressing his views. And I think that was one of the things that made the show so successful in the beginning because, he had so many things to say.
And we would have those discussions 4, 5, and 6 times a day, repeatedly.
Right. Right. And he
Melissa.
wasn't shy. Everybody who knows Aaron knows that he wasn't shy to express his opinion and let people know how he felt.
Melissa's getting a good laugh about that. When Cirroc said Aaron had strong opinions, my first thought was, Melissa, that's true. did Aaron ever once go, I don't know, whatever? When you said, what do you think of this? Was he ever, it was always a strong opinion, or did he ever say like,
Well, it would depend on the topic. Like, I like to draw with ballpoint pens, and we got into an argument about him having one of my pens that I like to draw with. He's like, what's the big deal? It's a ballpoint pen. I was like, no, it's not. So yeah, that he was like, But yeah, my opinion on the pen was stronger than his.
wow.
Well, you know, the pen is mightier than the sword. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. If I get that little applause, it's awesome.
There's a little. That's something we can all quote. Thank you.
Right. Full
Speaking of
circle there.
Shakespeare.
So, you guys want to just go around real quick? Actually, first, I do want to say, if we're talking about the first day, we have somebody here that basically jumped on board as a supporter of the show from before it even, the idea even came out of our mouths. Somehow Homer Frizzell was there from second one, right? I mean, you were there from the very beginning. Do you remember, was it just because you were following Aaron, you're friends with Aaron, and you just wanted to jump on and support, or how did that happen?
You know, kind of like Cirroc, it's all a blur, and I don't recall exactly. I had seen Aaron, and I don't know if he talked about it when we were in Albany a year or so before, so maybe that was it. And then he also had a panel with Garrett there, but I don't recall exactly. Yes, I was involved early, and I just thought it was going to be a lot of fun, and I hadn't seen Deep Space Nine, and I had just been to What We Left Behind, so the timing was perfect. That's the only thing that I have close to hand that I could grab. The book is in the other room. The noggin is up behind the umbrella. It's tough.
And the space station is behind you.
Yeah, so I have the station behind me here, so I'm just not close to anything I can grab and show off. It's in the upper pylon, I think.
Deck 2.
Yeah.
So let's just go around real quick and introduce ourselves, shall we? I mean, I kind of went around and said a few names, but tell us who you are and where you reside, Dr. Sue V. Gruner.
Hi, I'm in Gainesville, Florida.
Nice. Jesse?
I'm down in Tampa Bay, Florida.
Sabrina, with the by the way, Sabrina, give us a second and show us your awesome background.
Yeah, there we go.
Sabrina of the Sci-Fi Sisters. It's a new group. They're awesome. Their group, they call it the Mothership, right?
Right.
And you're in New York? Or where are you?
We are in the pitched camp of Washington, D.C., greater Washington, D.C. area. So
wow.
we are here under siege right now, but everything's cool.
But everything's cool.
Everything's cool. It's just, hey, just a lot of camo here now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good. It's okay.
Yeah, it was
Sabrina, how long do you expect the National Guard to be there?
Oh, all the way through the inauguration, and they got in here. It's like a sea of Army people now. It's just crazy. I mean, I don't have to go out. I'm working from home, but we're seeing pictures, and it's just it's just really sad. But anyway, everything's good. I have my Star Trek. I have my Deep Space Nine. I got my book. I'm just going to cover up.
Are you dealing with a 6 o'clock curfew, and is that what's in effect right there?
That was in where Tamia is. She's right in the district, and I'm just outside of the district. So Tamia is under the curfew. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
I can roam around. I'm over here with Dr. Fauci. I'm down the street with Dr. Fauci, so we're cool.
Okay.
Just stay safe. Just stay safe. That's all.
Yeah, just undercover.
Yes, please.
Eve, hello.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I saw black on her shirt. I thought it was a black alert. Is it a black alert shirt?
Who?
Like, oh, me?
Yeah, Sabrina. What does that say? It says
No,
black
it says yeah, of course it says black something, but it says black girls are lit. And that is for Sci-Fi Sisters Book Club, which we will be featuring a certain book by a certain person on this panel right now. So,
Well,
Nice.
I appreciate that. If it's me, thank you.
it is you. Of course, it's you. Yes, we do a book every other month. So we will be, that's on a list of books that are coming up for the Sci-Fi Sisters Online Book Club.
Awesome.
Nice.
Now, Eve, by the way, lit means good in American.
Eve, I'm sorry that he has to always explain things to you.
I think it means very good.
Very good, right?
Very good.
How are you, Eve?
Yeah, good, thank you.
So,
and tell everybody where you are, even though we all know.
Yes, I'm based in South Wales in the UK.
Nice. And we love Eve because she always makes us seem like about twice as classy as we really are. So, keep classing us up.
I love an Eve sweatshirt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's Cirroc's sister, right?
Yeah, I love that.
Ta-da.
Yeah,
It's the Cisco Kid design.
Yeah, no one does that color.
Yeah, this color. Yeah, she made it specially for me. I was very pleased.
Oh, wow.
Eve always has the awesome colors.
Mhm. So that website, Cirroc's sister, is AbyssinianKiosk.com. She makes some of the coolest stuff. Cisco Kid, lots of cool Star Trek related stuff, but also a lot of African designs, which are amazing. I should have worn that shirt today. She made me a really cool shirt. Check it out. We include that in the description box below as well. I think she's made a ton of sales from you awesome fans, so keep it up because it's great stuff.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Katie, say hello.
Hello, I'm in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
In the middle of the country.
You just had your first day of your second semester of college yesterday, right?
Yes, I started yesterday, so back in the saddle again.
What are you studying, Katie?
I'm studying classical ballet.
Great.
Yeah, I'm getting a BFA. So, and then on top of that, I have English, public speaking, just a regular required classes on top of the ballet and other dance curriculum. So,
are these online classes, or are you able to show up in person?
I'm able to go to campus. Yeah, I reside in Fort Wayne. I don't live on campus, but as of now, we're still allowed to go to campus for classes. But we all get our own table and we wear masks, and we're trying to abide by the rules as much as we can so we can stay open. So.
Okay.
Are you at IUFW?
I'm at the University of St. Francis.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, and it's a very nice university, very clean, great, pretty campus, and it's nice.
My uncle was the theater professor for many years before he died there.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So he ran the theater department and the drama department for many years.
And what was his name?
That's
What was his name?
incredible.
His name is Hal Gunderson.
Thank you.
Tim, tell us where you are, by the way.
Actually, I'm just right on the west side of Indianapolis, Katie. So
you're like 2 hours away.
Yeah.
But in pandemic time, that's like a month away.
As many of you know, I'm now retired military, but I'm old enough to remember the original Star Trek and became a fan. And I got involved with the Seventh Rule because of my job in the military. I was off social media, but I joined Twitter last year, and I think it was through tagging or following Nikki DeBoer that I found Seventh Rule, and then from there the Patreon, and now I'm part of it. And that's where I found Armand. That's where I found your book when you were on Twitter, and got a signed copy from you. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Tim, may I ask a question? I lived in Indianapolis for about 3 months. I actually proposed to my wife there. But as I remember, there is no river anywhere near Indianapolis. So what is that behind you?
Okay. Technically, there's the White River. There's the White River that goes through, and that's how it became, and it's still there. In fact, my son.
There's a river in Indianapolis?
Yes, White River.
Really?
Yes, I've canoed down it.
As I said, I lived there for 3 months. I don't remember any. I believe you, Tim. I'm not saying, but I never saw it. There's a river.
Well, no. What's funny is my son, on the north side of Indianapolis, bought a house right near the river, which means he has to pay a buttload of money for flood insurance, which I thought was stupid. But the advantage is the English pub that I go watch Liverpool at is near there, so I can park at his house and walk to the pub. So there's the advantage of him spending all that money living there. So.
Free parking.
Yes, free parking.
Speaking of,
I'll say one thing. I drove cross country a couple of times, and I remember Indiana was one of the most beautiful states I ever drove through. It was just like, it just was. Where are we? It was like Indiana. I was like, this is really just gorgeous. It's just like hills and farms, and it was just like picture perfect. So congratulations, you guys. You have a nice, pretty state.
It actually has 3 transitions, but southern Indiana is rolling hills.
Yeah.
Very beautiful, especially in the fall. It's like the East Coast with the changing the leaves and everything.
Bloomington is beautiful.
Yeah.
It impressed in my mind with that drive, and 3,000 miles. It was just like whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, that's where
it has the talking street lights, if I remember correctly. If you want to cross the street, the lights talk to you. You may now cross the street, kind of thing.
We have that now here in LA too.
Yeah, everybody's got that now with the ADA compliance. So yeah.
I actually spent 3 months living in Indiana when I was at university one summer, and I have to. I think one of the state. I think it was at Turkey Run State Park.
Turkey Run State Park. Yes, I've canoed. They actually have a wonderful lodge, but you can pick up Sugar Creek there and canoe down to another state park about 10 miles down, and it's a wonderful afternoon of just taking the canoes down, and there's little islets that you can stop at and have a picnic.
Oh wow,
that's nice.
I was saying that Avery's also from Indiana. He's from Gary though, which I believe is not where you guys are.
No, Katie's closer than I am.
Yeah, I'm in a very industrial town.
Okay.
So, and it's northern.
Hey, let's say hello to TJ Jackson Bay, by the way.
TJ?
Hello from Springfield, Missouri, as Ryan likes to call it.
I'm just saying because I thought that's what they called it, Missouri.
I think it's a mixed bag, but a lot of people pronounce it that way, not just Ryan.
I think TJ is probably our most well-read Star Trek reader, right? How many you've read? Like 1 million Star Trek books or something?
Well, I did when I was like in my teens and early 20s. I was able to read a lot more. Like I was saying earlier, nowadays I have like college and work that keep me busy and has taken away from my reading time, which I so long to have back.
Yeah, but
I
TJ,
definitely appreciate that one.
Go ahead, Cirroc.
No, I was saying, TJ, you're in school too. Maybe you want to tell everybody about that.
Okay. I am studying accounting. I'm a junior at Missouri State University here in Springfield. So this semester I am learning about tax accounting and some managerial cost accounting. And I have some other management classes to go along with that. I don't have like the English anymore. They said I couldn't do those classes anymore. I have to do all the serious work. Not that English isn't serious. I have stuck my foot in my mouth, and I'm going to stop now.
Hey, it sounds like you would make a very good Ferengi.
Or the FCA needs a new job.
You're right. I would make a good Ferengi with that career, wouldn't I?
Oh my goodness. We've got Mr. Bill Erickson joining us late from the blue skies of Montana, but he's indoors
All
for
right.
once.
I'm actually and I'm not in Montana. I am in
Utah this week.
The land of Mormon.
Yeah.
Oh.
What brings you to Utah?
He's already grown it back since November. It's already. Nice.
Yeah, that's all I got since
It's coming.
since 1 December. That's all.
It's coming.
Just a little inch. Of course, this I've already had to trim it back a couple of times.
Guy's Grizzly Adams, man. Why are you in Utah? I think you told us, but I don't remember. You live in
Johnny Manziel.
I was going to say, Bill, you got nothing on me right now.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Look at my beard.
Facial hair.
Okay, I'm on my cell phone, so it's it's weak. It's weak here. So I tried to go on my phone or my laptop. My laptop wouldn't connect to the headset. And I'm like, started saying bad words.
You could go to jail in the state you're in right now, man.
Yeah, be careful.
These folks around here are interesting, to say the least. It's a mix of it's like being in Israel, because in Israel you've got a mix of the hyper religious, the moderately religious, and the a-religious, who all follow the same philosophy. But it's the same thing here in Utah. I mean, obviously it's not Judaism, it's Mormonism, but it's interesting.
Which part of Utah are you in? I spent last summer in southern Utah.
Beautiful.
I'm at in Lehi is where I'm at, just south of Salt Lake.
Yeah, I was down at the bottom of the state. But you're right.
Oh, down by St. George or over there?
Just north of St. George. I was there for about 5 months doing Shakespeare.
Awesome.
And you're right.
I wish I would have known. I would have driven down there to see you, Armin. Holy cow, man.
Hopefully I'll go back again. But you're right. The first time I went to the grocery store, I was surprised by the Orthodox Mormons and the costumes, just like the Orthodox Jews, costumes that they wore. Or I shouldn't say costumes. I should say, the religious garments.
The clothing, the clothing they wear. Yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. So, me, I'm a libertarian. I don't judge anybody on their faith, on their beliefs, or on where they live in life. As long as they leave me alone, we're all good.
I had a suspicion you were a kindred spirit.
Billy, you're a Montanan. We share the same. I may have not been born in Montana, but I have those roots. So.
Yeah, it's a Montana philosophy, that's for sure, Katie.
Speaking of Montana philosophies, Jared Cooper over here. We've got like 3 Floridians here. Where are you in Florida?
I was in Florida. I would be just outside of Orlando. I'm on loan to the state of Alabama right now, helping with an IT install for a hospital. So I'm currently in, believe it or not, Enterprise, Alabama.
Really?
No way.
Yeah, that's where I was born and raised, and then ran screaming back down to Florida. And there's a hospital up here that's doing a software adaptation for those of you in the hospital industry. Epic is taking over here, and if you were to go downstairs, you would see about 20 laptops on my kitchen table in various stages of install. I'm up here for about 4 months, but yeah, normally you're right, Ryan. I would be in Florida.
Is that something you do often, Jared, working with hospitals, or is that just a one-off?
It's just a one-off. They needed a software database person, and I was like, sure, why not?
And do you have family there? You said that's where you grew up.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, my dad bought a house in Alabama, and he keeps telling me he's going to retire there Right now he's in Redlands, but he's going to eventually pack up and settle in Alabama.
Tell him he's going to need to put his clocks back
Alabama.
about 10 years.
Yeah.
Just 10?
Just 10.
That depends. That actually depends upon which part of the state you wind up in. You know, some are still about 20.
Yeah.
He just told me a funny story. He said when he bought the house, he was, him and his wife went down there to go through it and, make a list of the improvements they wanted to make on it. He said the neighbor across the street saw him and made sure to raise up 3 different Confederate flags at the same time, as if one wasn't enough.
That's more than 10 years.
I said, that's the welcome, huh? But he hasn't had any problems though. And he grew up in Mississippi, so he's used to, being in the deep south.
Yeah, he knows the territory.
Where in Mississippi?
My family, the Loftons, are from Jackson, Mississippi, and there's still a whole bunch of Loftons out there. One of my uncles runs the water municipality, which is crazy, and also the newspaper in Jackson. And we have some relatives that are on the judicial system and all types of people. I have a huge family. The Loftons are pretty big in Mississippi.
By the way, guys, you notice
Ryan saying Jackson. Come on, Ryan.
Cirroc, I was in Jackson back in November for about 24 hours.
Really?
I got paid by the U.S. Census Bureau to drive from Orlando to Jackson, Mississippi, knock on 2 doors, and turn around and drive back. That's your federal dollars at work.
Man, but you're working. I love it.
Yeah.
I've been to Jackson twice. Once as a kid and visit my family, and I was really young, maybe 6 years old. And then most recently, because one of my relatives was doing some fundraising for this black woman that was running for office, and she was trying to be the first to break the color barrier in that position. So I went down there to help her do some fundraising and help her get elected. So that was the only 2 times that I've been to Jackson.
I spent a Saturday night in Jackson, driving to Biloxi.
Sounds like a country song.
Actually, that's a line off a Charlie Daniels song. I spent the night in Jackson, Mississippi on a Saturday night.
Really?
Yeah.
By the way, Cirroc is wearing his flannel today to honor Mr. Aaron Eisenberg, which is no easy task because it's like 80 degrees right now in LA. So he's
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It is. And I had to put it over my sweatshirt, so I'm fully ready to go to honor Aaron.
With the gloves too, you showed us.
Yeah. With the gloves, yeah, we're ready.
Nice.
Ready to sign autographs.
Hey, Armin, for everybody that doesn't know the book that you've written and released recently, can you tell everybody so that when we include it in the description box below, people know what they're buying and rating?
Sure. It's 420 pages.
420, right, Cirroc?
Yeah, that number. I don't know why.
What's it? It's very quickly, because I don't want to bore the conversation, but it's a period mystery set in Elizabethan England. It deals with a lot of history, but a lot of it also deals with Shakespeare. And the book is history and the play Twelfth Night, one of Shakespeare's plays, combined together. So there's fantasy as well, and besides being a history book, I hope it's also very funny as well. So people who've been reading it have liked it a great deal. I'm very flattered by the response, and I've spent the epidemic doing rewrites on book number 2. There'll be a book number 2 and there'll be a book number 3. And the way I'm going now, there may be a book number 4.
Nice.
So, but thank you, Ryan.
No, sure.
And is this novel tied in with your other John Dee novels?
Yes and no. That's a very good question. And the reason I'm being equivocational is that John Dee is the lead character in this book, But the John Dee in the other books was science fiction John Dee. If you've read those books, and obviously you have, they were primarily written. It is John Dee, that's the character's name. But the truth is, it's not John Dee, it's Quark. And that's what they wanted, and that's what I wrote. And while I was writing the last of those books, I decided that I had a conversation with the ghost of John Dee and said, Doctor, I'm going to write a book someday that's really going to be about you and not about me. And so this book is about the real John Dee.
Okay. Wow. So if anybody has any questions or things they'd like to talk about or want to ask Armin a little bit more about his book or say hello, feel free. We've got another 10 or 15 minutes left. So open door policy. Katie?
Armin, you probably don't remember me, but I met you at BTC in virtually when you talked about your book originally. And I think I probably asked this question, but it's like, out of all the eras for you to pick, why did you pick John Dee and the era, the Elizabethan era? I mean, of course, because of Shakespeare, but do you like that era? Do you like the words of that era?
That's a great question. And you all know me as an actor, and that's good. I'm very proud of that. But my other life is that I'm a teacher. I teach Shakespearean drama, history, religion, acting to people around the country and sometimes around the world. So that I was a major in college as a Shakespeare scholar, and I've been doing that ever since. And it's been years since that time. In fact, in my book, the first person I thank, and I don't thank that many people, is my Shakespeare teacher from UCLA, from my college.
Go Bruins.
What?
Go Bruins.
Yeah, go Bruins. And if I had a lot more time, I would tell you the connection between my Shakespeare teacher and how Patrick Stewart became Captain Picard.
I think we have time for that story, right?
Come on.
We've got time for that.
Come on.
Come on, Rob.
I thought everybody knew the story, but I'd be glad to tell you if that's so. I had 4 years with a wonderful teacher named David Rhodes, and I guess he came from wealthy Texas money. I'm not quite sure, but after I graduated, he started a program where he invited young English actors to come to UCLA and do little performances and work with some of the English majors on Shakespeare. And he invited a lot of people who are now sirs and dames. At the year that they were looking for a Picard, he had Patrick at UCLA, and they did a little performance in a small classroom at UCLA. And I've just forgotten the producer who was there. It wasn't Roddenberry, and it wasn't Berman. It was somebody else. It starts with a J. Anyway, he happened to go to that classroom to see that performance. And he went back to Roddenberry and Berman's office and said, I think I've found the captain for the show.
Wow.
And, they called Patrick in. This is another story. It's going to get too long. They called Patrick in to do an audition in that long hallway, Cirroc, that you remember where we auditioned. Actually, that's part of the story. So the agent from England who sent Patrick's picture in for that audition sent a picture with Patrick with hair, wearing a wig. And when he came to audition, he had told the director, and the director told me this. He had told the director had asked him to come in early and work with this director before he went in to see Roddenberry and Berman. And the director, this is only for Cirroc, the director was sitting in the AD room, at the very end of the hallway, as opposed to where Berman's office was, on the other end of the. So he was in the AD waiting for this actor from England to come in. And he looks down the long hallway, and it's a railroad track, Cirroc will remember. and all he sees is some bald actor sitting there waiting. And he's waiting for the guy in the picture. So 5 minutes before Patrick's audition starts, he finally walks down the long hallway, gets to the bald actor, and says, excuse me, you've been sitting here a long time. Who are you waiting for? And Patrick said, I'm waiting for the director, whose name I've just forgotten. And
Homer knows. Yeah.
What? Bob Justman. Bob Justman was the producer. Yes, Bob Justman was the producer, and the director was an actor director. He was in a movie with Sal Mineo. I did like 3 episodes, or maybe 2 episodes of Us, Deep Space Nine, and then Berman didn't hire him again. Anyway, so the director was so flummoxed that he kept this actor waiting for a half hour that he told me that he was going to advocate for Patrick no matter what. He could have been the worst actor in the world, but because he kept him waiting, he was going to advocate for him in the room. So it starts with David, my Shakespeare teacher, bringing Patrick into UCLA, Bob Justman seeing him, and then the rest of the story is history. And then when Patrick got the job, he didn't have a place really to stay for a long period of time. David was building a house in Brentwood, and Patrick and his family camped out on the construction site for 6 months, living in David's unfinished house.
Wow, really?
So David has quite a bit to do with Patrick, and now I'm going to say something a little bit snide. Not really. But every time Patrick has gotten married, David has always been invited.
To all of his weddings.
Think he's on his last one this time? Think Patrick's on his last one?
I really could say something terrible. I'm not going to say it.
Oh, don't say it, Armin. I've got a question for Armin. It came up earlier before you joined us. I happened to notice that Max was in Apollo 13.
Yes, that's right.
And are you still in contact with Max? And
yes, absolutely. Not as often as I'd like to be, but we email each other, I would say 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year, understanding that Max lives in Austria.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, it boggled my mind because I had never noticed it. I was watching it at 2 a.m. on the TV, and I'm like, all of a sudden, this brief scene, I'm like, that was Rom. So I got on IMDb. Yeah, that is Rom. Okay.
And if you want to see more of Max in a movie, go to Sister Act. He has quite a nice part in Sister
Yes.
Act.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
First one?
Yeah, the first one.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So what do you do when you see all the other actors in various places? Do you only could think of them as their roles, as you should. There's no reason why you shouldn't.
No, I mean, I do. One of the things I've gotten into lately is a lot of BBC shows and dating all the way from 20 years ago. And what's interesting is I'll be watching the different shows and I'm like, wait a minute, I recognize that person. Go back. Oh yeah, they were in this show and they were in this show and they were in this show. So
we don't get roles just because we happen to be in the right place at the right time. Although that helps, it does have to do with a history of work. That you've done all these other things that eventually you get called in for the role that perhaps makes your name. But usually, there are tons and tons of roles that come before you become visible.
Yes.
Oh, yes. We touched slightly on that last roundtable.
Mm-hmm.
With the various captains. It's like, Sisko, Avery Brooks, that's the captain from Deep Space Nine, but when you finally get to Enterprise, it's like, oh, there's Sam Beckett from Quantum Leap.
Right.
By the way, nice shuttlecraft, Jesse. Is that what you're in?
Oh, thank you. Yep. This is a DS9 runabout.
Nice.
So you liked something here, Armin. So yesterday they had the Falling Tower, which is Ryan's other channel, one of his other channels. They did a review of the Stand, the first episode of The Stand. And Bridget, who was one of the guest people on there, she's
so great.
She's quite enamored of James Marsden, and but then there's Michael Kenyon Rosenberg, who who's Ryan's, alter
Cirroc.
ego. And he goes, "Oh, James Marsters," and I'm like, "Oh, Spike."
Oh, I get it.
Which connects to you because you were the principal in Buffy the Vampire
Thank
Slayer.
goodness.
Right. James and I actually, we have
It was
met.
a long story. Sorry.
No, not at
James
all.
and I have met, but we never worked together.
Really?
Yeah. Oftentimes you can be on the same episode and you never see the other people because you work on different days. I think actually James and I have met only a handful of times, and probably most of those times at conventions. But we had no, I'm quite sure we had no scenes together.
Actually, you and Cirroc, you guys probably didn't work very often together, even though you were in the same episodes, but only when there was kind of Nog as the glue between the two of you in the storyline.
Yes, there was a short period of time when Cirroc was spending time in the bar, and Nog didn't necessarily have to be there. He was talking to Quark, but that particular sort of sequence of events didn't last for very long. Do you remember that, Cirroc?
The Double Girls brought me to your bar mostly. That's what I remember.
And that's why they were there.
That's what I remember. Double Girl Central.
Speaking of Double Girls, Cirroc, do you remember the dresses that the Double Girls wore?
I would never forget them.
Yeah, how could you forget? There was one lady, God bless her, she had, just about Double Girls. Usually what happened was what we call background or background people were cast. And usually there were ladies who were full-chested to wear this one particular dress. Invariably, they would come in, they would see that dress because it had no bottom. It just
right. I know exactly what you're talking about.
and they were flabbergasted. It wasn't what they expected. And invariably, they would do one episode. And although they were asked back, they would say, "No, I'm not coming back." But one lady didn't have a problem with it. And she came back many times. And this is a little bit sad. One day she was called in and she wasn't there. And we all got a little nervous. And we found out the night before her boyfriend had killed her.
Oh.
I'm sure it wasn't wearing that dress.
Wow.
But it was a horrible morning when we found this. I mean, this was somebody we'd gotten to know, and she was the only one that ever came back to wear that dress. So we spent a lot of time with her, and she had just, I don't know what happened to her boyfriend.
How tragic.
It was very tragic. Sorry, that's a little bit.
No, speaking of Double Girls, I recently saw the one when Rom got married and Quark brought a Double Girl to the wedding ceremony as kind of like an arm piece, and I saw the outfit. I was like, oh my god, it was so risque, but that was their job.
And that was just Quark's outfit.
That's right. That was just Bob Blackman, who designed all those dresses. Loved the female body, and he catered to it. He pushed the limits, certainly. You just have to ask 7 of 9. I mean, that costume was beyond. But sometimes he would put ladies in things, and I'd go, "Whoa, where do I look? Where do I look?"
Yeah.
I like the one who was the entomologist.
The entomologist. Remind me which episode that was.
Jake dated.
Right.
I can't remember her name.
He was an excellent costume designer, though.
Because Sue is an
Marta?
entomologist. Yeah, Marta. Was it Marta?
Is it Marta?
Yes. Marta.
Marta was a Double Girl, absolutely, yes.
Chancellor Marta.
No, and I mean,
Jake had to explain to
that.
Nog what an entomologist was, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh, she's a
Yeah,
chef."
and then he said, "Oh, a chef."
Right, because she deals with insects, and so he thought that must be a chef.
I still remember Cisco going, "Oh, who is she? She's a Double Girl. Okay, how old? 26. Okay. We're going to have her for dinner.
Yeah.
They were very brave ladies. They were very brave ladies.
Mhm.
And I give them all credit, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also give.
God knows what Cirroc was thinking at 14, but
He was thinking how brave they are. Right?
Yeah, definitely the bravery aspect. But no, I want to say that I'm actually proud of those women that also decided that that's not what they wanted to do, and stood up for themselves and said, I'm not going to do this and sexualize myself like that. I mean, I can understand that point of view as well. So I mean,
Cirroc, I'm 100% behind you. That's right. They were quite brave to do that.
that's brave. Yeah, because it's easy to.
It was work.
Right.
They needed that work. Background people don't get paid a lot of money. So, to lose out on what might be a steady job, that takes a lot of bravery to say, no, I'm not going to denigrate myself by wearing this.
No, I give them credit.
Mm-hmm.
But Armin, I want to ask you because it's something that kind of I always try to wrap my head around. Avery being a professor, you being a professor, and I just imagine that it's such a difficult thing to do to be a professor. Like you'd have to dedicate your whole life at it. The fact that you're able to be so good at so many different things. Can you tell me a little bit about just the kind of preparation that you kind of made in order to make that transition for yourself?
Well, I had always taught Shakespeare. Even while we were working together, I was still teaching Shakespeare. So when my liaison to USC called, an incredible actress who I had seen as a young man in a company called the Acting Company out of Juilliard. She was in the first class of Juilliard. And when Mary Joan called me and asked me to do that, I had a long discussion with my wife, with Kitty, and figured out how can I work this into my schedule. And Mary Joan in USC was very kind about saying, if you have acting work, we'll work around your acting work. And because of that, because I was away 5 months, as I mentioned earlier, in Utah doing Shakespeare, I haven't actually been back to USC as a college professor. I believe I still have the adjunct professor title, but I'm not quite sure. But teaching has always been part of me. I've always done that, if it paid as much as acting does, when it pays, I probably would have taught instead of acted. Now, at my ripe old age, I much prefer to teach than to act.
Don't you guys wish that Armin was your professor?
Yes.
Yes.
He's so fun.
Yes.
I might have read the whole book instead of get the cliff notes.
I'm a very tough professor. You may not want me as a teacher.
There we go.
So is that the experience that you were channeling for Snyder?
No, Snyder was the worst part of me. I had a principal in junior high school that I modeled Snyder after, and Snyder hated people. Snyder really hated people, hated kids especially. So it was wonderful to play Snyder on some days of the week and to play Quark on others because Quark loved people. I really loved communicating.
A people person.
Exactly. I'm a people person.
Exactly. I'm a people person. And so to be able to do both those roles during the week, and I did many weeks, I would do both in the same week. It was a great joy. And I, if you're not an actor, I don't know if I can explain it to you, but to do repertory, to do two different roles in the same week is a great, energizing, inspirational experience because you don't get bored. At the end of 7 years of Deep Space Nine, I'm going to speak for myself and not Cirroc, but I would say most of the series regulars were ready to move on, that they had had enough, that they had these characters, they had explored all the avenues that they could, but they were for the most part only doing those characters during that time. I was doing a lot of different characters, a rainbow of different characters, not just on Buffy, but on other shows as well. So when I came back to Star Trek every day, and I didn't work every day, that's for sure. I was energized to do it because I played something else earlier in the week.
Like a palate cleanser.
Yeah,
exactly.
I can definitely see that. I've been in the same roles quite often over the years. Before everything hit, I used to travel with Renaissance festivals. Lately, it's been on the merchant side, but for most of my 20s, I was on the entertainment side as an actor. But yes, it's that one role for the entire season of the show. So I can definitely appreciate what you're saying with being able to mix it up with different roles.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that we didn't enjoy our roles and we loved our roles, but we had explored every nook and cranny of our roles that could have possibly thrown at us. So letting my creative juices work on other roles was just, as I said, a palate cleanser, Ryan. That's exactly.
Well, we got to go in just a second, but let's hear from Sabrina Wood, ladies and gentlemen.
I was just wondering, Armin, if you ever thought about doing an online class for people like us who would really read the book. I mean, I really would.
I have to. You have to watch out for them. And maybe I will tell Ryan the next time I do it.
Please.
But I've done at least a dozen online Shakespeare classes. I only do Shakespeare. So
no, that's what what I want.
I have done at least, and you've been there, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
They're fantastic. Really.
Yeah.
I did English at university. Did Shakespeare classes, and I said to Armin, I think at the time, as feedback, I was like, if he'd been my tutor back then, I probably would have enjoyed Shakespeare far more and understood it. So yeah, they're highly recommended if you get the chance to go on them. Yeah.
Star Trek is why I got, I didn't take that class. I'm an accountant, so I didn't have to take those classes, just like DJ just said. Didn't have to take it. But because of Star Trek, I actually, when there's a quote in Star Trek from a Shakespearean play, I run and go get it to see, the whole context. Because I'm like, oh, wow, he's pulling something from Shakespeare. Let me go see what this is all about. And because I don't really know my Shakespeare. I know the play titles and stuff, and I know the major lines, but I don't know Shakespeare like everybody else does.
And there's no reason why you should. Most of the time, the teachers who teach us, certainly the teachers I had, were boring. They didn't know what they were talking about, and they had no reference to the plays except perhaps through a literary prism, which was very limited. When you look at Shakespeare through different prisms, and I think primarily an acting prism, because it was meant to be acted. It was never meant to be read. So you have much more of an appreciation for it. Reading Shakespeare can be very dull and certainly a lonely experience, except perhaps you become good friends with the dictionary.
Yes, very much so. I have all of one monologue memorized from that Scottish play, and it was actually one of the ones that they used as a title for one of the original series, Dagger of the Mind.
Yes.
Well, that sounds good. Let's all read our Shakespeare. Or as Tim Russ said in Spaceballs, we ain't found Shakespeare, right? Isn't that what he said?
And if we have a quick moment, I just want to make a shout out to one of our other Patreons.
Some of you know that reference. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I just got in a book from another professor author, Dr. Muhammad Noor.
Oh, cool.
Get the background and not cover it up.
And
of course, he's in the news cycle right now, being one of the science consultants on Discovery.
Great.
And a very recent add to Creation's convention in Las Vegas, formerly called Star Trek Las Vegas. Now, I don't know if it's 55-year mission, something or other, but yeah, he's like their 98th guest, I believe.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Anyway, we do have to run. Everybody say your goodbyes.
Ryan.
Thank
this
you.
Has been great. I am like,
thank you.
Thank you very
Happy
much.
anniversary, everybody.
Happy
anniversary.
Yep. Till we meet again when the hurly-burly's done and the battle's lost and won.
Now you have to turn around 3 times, spit, and go outside.
I gotta go run to my book. I gotta go run to my book.
All right, it's in the first scene when you find the right play.
Okay.
Also, another very special thanks to Malissa for always being our rock for us throughout this entire thing for 2 years. I don't know if we could have done it without you. You've been extremely supportive and helpful, and more than just part of the team. You've been like, the heart and soul of our show for 2 years.
I'll give you all a view out the window.
Are you muted?
Yeah, that's the view out the window there.
Malissa, I have a special phrase that I don't use often. I only use it for certain people. So I'm going to use it for you right now. You rock and are awesome.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There it is.
Nice.
No, thank you. And happy anniversary to all of you. And yeah, I don't have a lot to say because I'll probably cry. But no, thanks for being here through all the rough stuff. So, yeah.
Thanks for being the first lady.
Nice.
That's very good. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you, Jared, for kicking off the ship, starting this whole gangster stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying yes when we finally got him to ask.
And I would like to thank Seventh Rule for being so supportive of the Sci-Fi Sisters. You guys have exploded us, and I mean, I really, from the first con and on, and Ryan, Cirroc, all you guys, Yvette Blackman have just been so helpful to us, and have really got us a lot of promos. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you deserve all of it.
And
lots
I
of
want to take care of my
positivity, man.
sister from another mother. That's all there is to
Hey,
it.
bro, what you doing? I thought you didn't see me over here. I was like, where's the love, Bill? Where's the love?
I saw you, baby. Don't you worry.
All right, now. Okay, I was going
I
to
got
cry
you.
or something. I was like, all right, I'm going to talk to him and I'm going for this thing. I'm going to check you up.
And
you got my digits. You know how to get me.
Okay.
And, thank you.
Okay.
And all the gifts and the support, Eve and Mohammed and Bill, all of you guys have sent gifts and showed us love and emails, and we just really appreciate the love and support. It's for you guys. Sue, it's for all of you that we're here, and we really love you guys. So thank you so much. Armin, thank you for being the guiding light for us and showing us the way.
I just wanted to say, Malissa, one of the reasons I got involved is Aaron's portrayal of Nog helped me so much with my PTSD. And I still sometimes go to sleep listening to some of his episodes. And that's the real reason I got involved in this, is because it helped me so much. As Afghanistan sucked, and it helped me. Thank you.
And we thank you for your service, your sacrifice.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Rex Wood, what you've done for your service. I mean, Yvette, for your service.
Yep.
We thank all of you guys. I mean, you put in the work, and we honor you.
Yeah, thanks for saying that, Tim. Also want to say a very quick thank you to Eve England, because out in Wales, it's past midnight, and she's such a trooper right now.
She's a trooper.
Yeah. For us, we're like, it's the middle of the day, we're hanging out, we're having fun, and she's like, oh my God.
Dinner.
No, I wouldn't miss it for the world. So yeah, it's the same. This is a special episode, so I had to be here. And I sort of had a nap earlier, so I sort of gave my
Right.
Everyone. It's just I said that long actually, and I sort of went through my old tweets yesterday to try to find some of the early ones, and it's just been it's gone really fast, and I've just met loads of amazing people, especially the last sort of since March really has just been particularly helpful, and I think it's the same for everyone. So so thanks to Ryan, Cirroc, and Malissa, and everyone else, and all of you guys as well. For me personally, it's been really, really great 2 years.
I love this stuff.
Yeah, you didn't know that we hold the record for the most thank yous. That's what we do. We're a very grateful bunch. We're a very grateful and supportive community.
When I come over here. It's always like a good time.
No, I want to thank you guys. You, Ryan, Cirroc, Malissa, Eve, Yvette, everyone has just been so wonderful and caring and kind. And you all are like a second family. And Bill's a fellow Montanan, even though I'm not there. But no, you guys have been there during some hard times for me, and just you're a wonderful group of positivity, and you're true Trek to me. You're the message. You're wonderful folks. So thank you.
And now you have some ornaments coming your way too.
Yeah. I'll have to take Sue's advice, and we'll have trees.
Great. All right, we better go. Thanks, Armin. We really appreciate you and your time. You've always been so great to us, and it's just, well, whatever. We've said thank you enough. You know how much we care about you and how much we appreciate you. You're really great.
And yes, and a shout out to Dr. Noor, who is just a wonderful scientist, biologist, and all-around wonderful human.
Bio Trekkie.
All right, so everybody at home that's watching this, we've got all the links in the description box below. That's Abyssinian Kiosk. That's Walking Art Made by Malissa. That is Armin's awesome book, and that you're going to have to buy the first one. Otherwise, how are you going to read the second one? I almost said watch again. You're right, Armin. I did say watch.
It's like, you can't judge a book by its cover, but Ryan does.
By its screen. Anyway.
Thank you, Armin.
Thank you. Thank you all. Stay safe. That's all I can say. Stay safe.
Thank you, guys.
You betcha.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Always remember the 7th rule.
All right, Chet.